Mon time is here, and we've got another big one for you. 38 mods released today on platforms. Got 26 new and 3 updates, and PC and Mac players got 3 new and 6 updates. We also had the announcement of the Mercedes-Benz Trucks Pack DLC, dropping in 5 weeks from today. So if you haven't seen those videos from earlier today, definitely check them out. Otherwise, let's jump right in. Let's start them off with new vehicles for all platforms. We got the new Holland Serie L. This is from Sevi Modding of AM Modding. Quite a few different options through this one. You may have seen that it's got a different color set, at least in the thumbnail here. That is just a color option down at the bottom, so don't worry too much about that. Front weight, you can add that on if you would like. It is quite heavy, going for 4.9 up to 6.6 tons. Pretty heavy front weight right there. Engine options range from 60 horsepower all the way up to 95. So you got good stuff there. Trelleborg, Continental, Michelin, Midas, and BKT wheels, which is very cool. And you get a nice set of wides on there as well. Beacons on the top. We've got an interesting set here. So you get a center, and then you can go left, right, or both on that one. Fenders are just a yes and no round towards the front. Exhaust pipe, you've got an angled forward, you got a flap, and then you've got a chromed straight up, which is pretty cool. Black grill on here as well. You can throw that on. I think it looks better with some colors, so check that out. Front loaders from KRG and Hawa. And as I was mentioning, we do have those color options. So if you wanted to go with the New Holland, go for that right there. But we do have multiple different color options to choose from, including black. But if you've got the unlimited color mods, you can, well, do whatever you want. No animations that I can find, but it does have a great sound. Next up, we got a couple John Deere tractors, older ones. This is the John Deere 6300 from Sluches Modding. Quite a few things, including the cabin. Now, the cabin is very, very cool. So you can go with a completely open cabin with a rollover bar on the very back, which is called the US Open Cab without awning. Then, of course, we have the full closed cabin. You could do the full closed cabin with plastic on the back, so you could do that. Then we've got this setup, which is the Brazilian or BR open cabin, and we also have a US open cabin version there as well. Of course, we've already seen this part. Pretty much everything else, we're just going to show it with the closed cabin, but this would look pretty sweet with the open one. Engine setups, we go from 103 up to 135 horsepower. All the wheel brands with Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, BKT, Väderstad, and even Lizard tires. One of my faves right here, check that out. Rear twins, so you could do a 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. You simply just scroll through the tires and you'll be able to find exactly what you're looking for through there. As far as your hood model, this is pretty sweet. We got 3 of them, so this is your standard set. Then we go the USA set, and then we go with the EU set. So it kind of moves things around, switches sides. That is very neat. Fenders on here, we've got a bunch of them on the very back. So we start off with standard. So this gives us a plastic top with the green on the sides there. Then we go to a full plastic, then a full metal with the John Deere setup. Then you could do metal on top with plastic at the bottom. You could do an US style, which is basically none. And then you could do the plastic on the sides there, and slowly but surely changing stuff up all the way through. It's a lot going on, man. It's a lot going on. Stickers, we swing it back around towards the front. I like the new setup like that, but you could stick with the old if you'd like. The front weights on here, you've got standard from 60 kgs up to 640 kgs. Cabin glass, you could choose a couple different setups for those. If you like a tinted window setup, exhaust material, you got the black, metal, and the chrome, and then a rusty set. Hood grill, starts off as green, but you can change it up to black. That's kind of neat. And then internal materials. We have 4 of them. So we have the different colors of the cabin inside. Then you've got like those orange bits and bobs. You can change those as well. We've got red, black, and yellow with those too. Kind of cool. Beacon lights is a left, right, both, or none setup as per usual. Ladder is going to be on the other side, so you can add an extra ladder there. There is a door, so that's pretty cool. And then attachers around towards the back. You've got a standard set or the mobile rear hitch. Finally, we've got a front loader attacher, which gives us all of them. So you've got the quickie and the Hauer, but you've got them in green or black. So you can do that. Very cool, and of course, license plate. One cool thing is you still get your beacon lights if you go with an open cabin. I'm sitting here building like my perfect one to put in the thumbnail, but yeah, very cool. You still get a couple other options here too. It's such a neat tractor. No animations on this one either, no matter which version you go for, but it does look pretty cool and sounds all right too. She definitely gets up and moves. And first person ain't bad neither. The other John Deere is the John Deere 6030 Premium 4-cylinder series. This is from DB Modding. We have multiple different engine options and speed. So we have the 6230 Premium. It's going to give you 100 horsepower. You also have up to the 6430, up to 135 horsepower, and that is going to be between 24 and 31 miles per hour. Wheel brands, we have all of them. So Trelleborg, Midas, Michelin, yeah, they're in a different order, Nokian, Continental, and Väderstad. And yep, you got duals all the way down to a narrow tire and everything in between. So very nice to see all of that. Extra lights, we just get 2 extra ones right there towards the front. Haven't looked around towards the back. We get anything back here? Nope, no extra lights around towards the back. The design, you've got beacons here. Not quite sure design is set for beacons, but hey, there it is nonetheless. Attachers, you've got a 60 kg all the way up to a 1010, and then you also have that front hydraulic, or you could do nothing. So again, every single option there. Starfire receiver at the top, yes or no, and then front loaders for quickie, Hauer, or nada. And then we've got our front fender setups round towards the very bottom. We do have 3 animations for this. They're all going to be with left bumper and right bumper, L1 and R1 together. So make sure you do those. Left to right door and the rear window. Sounds aren't too bad either. Great job on this one, and really cool to see not 1 but 2 John Deere tractors released today. Not something we get very often, a ZETOR tractor, the ZETOR 627745. Oh yeah, this one's got a bunch of customization options and like 3 or 4 for each one. So your engine we've got for 59 horsepower up to 81 horsepower. Only 3 wheel brands from Trelleborg, Continental, and Väderstad. We do have a narrow tire, and we do have a little bit of wider tires with weight, stuff like that. So little option here and there. Mud guards, couple different ones. You got like a painted metal one. You've got the added rear ones there, and then nada. So that is nice. Front fenders right here. We've got the metal, plastic, or none. Hood, couple different options through here with your air filter series. You can change that up. It's going to change up the front lighting as well as the grill lighting and your grid there. Cabin, a couple different ones through there. It's very nice. Couple different exhausts as well, moving those back and forth. The design setup, so this is going to be what's on the top of the cabin there. Your beacon is just a yes or no. That is it. Attachments, this is going to be around towards the front. You get a little bit of extra weight up under there, more weight, and then a big 3-point front linkage. Goodness gracious. And we have front loaders for quickie and Hauer. We also have 3 different color options. So your first one's going to be the body. The design color is going to be the roof, and rims are rim colors. No animations, but this may have one of the cooler sounds of the tractors today. Here's not something we get every day. The MANTGE TSF-W. Goodness gracious, too many letters in there. There's numbers in. This is a fire truck. I assume it's just something to take people in and out to fires, but we've got a couple different things here. So obviously this is a German truck, so there is that. You've got 2 different designs there, plus we have the John Deere Factory Fire Brigade. And yes, I did use Google to translate that. Wheel setups, you've got a road and off-road set there. The bumpers can be changed from painted to plastic, which is kind of nice. Reflectors around towards the back, got yellow and white. Radiator grille, you've got white, red, or black. Special signals rather. You got the beacons or the beam at the top, but it cannot be removed, so that's important to note as well. Around towards the back, the equipment gate to be black. I would do this if I was choosing this livery right here. I think that looks best through there. And then lastly, we have the color itself. Now these are just going to be red, or red. So I hope you like red. And here she is. We do have a couple animations, which is very, very nice. So startup is totally cool. And we do have a 1,000 liter water bitted here. So if you wanted to, you could I don't know, use this to transport water to your cows, I guess. Not much else I can think of other than that. We do have a few things. So whenever you click the unfold car, it doesn't do anything at first, but it does allow you to raise up the light right here. If we go all the way with our brights, we actually see that we've got that. And if we go over here, we are able to tilt that up and down, which is very cool. We can also turn it, and it will illuminate, and it is very, very bright. So be ready for it. So you've got that. We do have our blinky blinkies on the very top. I like that. There is a siren. It's kind of annoying. It's this one right here. So there you go. You've got that. And that is about it. Honestly, you can take the lights and angle them down if you wish. But other than that, ain't a whole lot going on with it as far as animations go. It is very cool, and if you're doing any kind of role play or you need some vehicles around your fire stations, if you're on a German map with a fire station, this is a great vehicle for that. However, I'm going to put it over here with my pirated chip. This one's pretty neat. This is the FH16 powered by natural gas. So it actually is methane that is used to power this truck. However, other than that, it is the same as the FH16 that we've got in the game. So as far as options and stuff like that goes, you're going to see the same stuff. However, there is one thing that's a little bit different. Of course, we've got some cool livery options there. Front mounting, those all look the same. But the attacher, so we have the semi-truck attachment there, but we can also add a pintle hitch or a ball hitch on the back. So you are able to change up the hitch, and you could use this for multiple different things and to be even more useful around your farm. So I find that super duper cool. So here it is. Again, same thing. It's got the same sounding engine and stuff like that, and drives the same. Everything is the same. So it might pick up speed a little bit better. Goodness. This thing is moving and grooving. Let's go. But again, runs off methane. So if you've got some extra methane or sitting around your farm, hey, you got something to use it for now. That is it for vehicles. So now let's talk about tools. And we've got the Väderstad Rapid 300C, 400C from Mat 26. These are seeders. They are direct drills, and they will do seed and solid fertilizer. You can also turn on and off the fertilization unit. So fertilization at the very top, you can say yes or no. It is actually going to cost you a little bit extra to run that. As far as your specifications go, we've got a 3,100 liter capacity total, regardless, for the 3 meter, 100 horsepower, 11 miles an hour. And then for the 400 or the 4 meter working with, 130 horsepower at 11 miles per hour, holds 4,300 liters. Next on our list, the Anderson Group M160 from HR Forest. Very cool. So this, we've got a couple different wheel options to choose from. We have the chainsaw holder, which can be added to the front side. And then we've got color options. Oh, they have Ow, That Hurts My Eyes blue. Love it. And then we got rim colors as well. Do we have a toothpaste in here? Green tube, baby. Let's go. Not the prettiest thing, but I'll take it. Got 4 mods from Hispano-Modding. The first one is the Case 800 MR. This is a sugarcane harvester. You harvest sugarcane 1 row at a time towards the front, and around towards the back, we have a trailer hitch. We can change up the wheels on this between a standard and wide tire. Probably recommend go with that wide tire. It's nice and chunky. And then you've got your main color, your design, and your rim color. I'm curious about the design. So all of those black parts. Got it. We also have that Anderson Group Pro Chop 150. This is a straw blower. Holds 2 bales, but you know, you can fit as many of them in there as you want to, as long as they'll fit. Main color, design, and a rim color again here. Thirdly, the Farmax KRG 250. This is a spader, another spader mod from Hispano-Modding. 190 horsepower is required, 2.5 meter working width at 7 miles per hour. I haven't actually talked to anybody who uses a spader, so hey, if you do, let me know. Lastly, from Hispano, we have the Grimme KS754. This is a Holland topper, 3 meters at 10 miles per hour, 65 horsepower, and plenty of colors. Couple hand tools. We had Lizard personal lighting from Mantrid. We had night vision. We got an extra flashlight. We've also got the headlamp, and we've got a lantern. Very cool stuff through here. I do kind of want to check out the night vision. Everything else is just a light, but oh yeah, not really night vision. Turn on the flashlight. Oh, look at that. Now that's what I'm talking about. I was about to say, fairly sure my game's not very happy with me right now, but I think it's probably because it's daylight out. We'll have to check this out at nighttime. Yep, definitely way better. That is very, very cool. Well, look at that. I mean, this is what it looks like right now. And then we go for the nighttime. There it is. We turn on the flashlight. Bam! Now, we'll say this, it did have to kind of build this green bit. I don't know if it's another layer down on the map or what, but it did take a couple seconds the first time around. So I'm guessing for each map or maybe each playthrough, something like that, you have to be a little bit careful with it. But you know what? I mean, that's kind of cool, right? Oh, I bet it doesn't work in a tractor, but I really want it to work in a tractor. Yeah, I knew it wouldn't. I want it to, though. Bam! It also works in photo mode. That's great. Okay, with the hand tools, don't forget, we've got a place for them in the pause menu, so you could just, boop, delete right there. There you go. I mean, we've still got our flashlight here, but I mean, come on. We've also got the Husqvarna S2800. So in these, I'm not sure why it's an S, but these are axes. However, it works just like a normal chainsaw. Pretty cheap too. And if you go with the old one, $100. I mean, it's not too bad. Started with a chainsaw and more like started with an axe. There you go. Now it's placeables time, and we have the production pack. This includes two things. We have the Lime Master and we have the Beat Master. Kind of sounds like DJs over here, doesn't it? As far as the Lime Master goes, we've got a place to put in stones, and then you get your lime out. Pretty simple. 30,000 in, 50,000 out. As far as recipe goes, it is 50 stones to 75 lime. That's pretty good. 1,080 cycles per month, $3 per month. That is super duper cheap. Not too shabby. Doesn't hold a lot, but it's not too bad. Actually, it holds quite a bit as far as lime's concerned. This is the one that doesn't hold quite as much. This is the Beat Master. So we have inputs for multiple different things through here. So you got sugar beets and your water in 40,000 to 50,000 respectively. Then you've got stones and sugar beet cut out. One of the nice things is you can take those stones, turn them into lime, and it's like it never happened, basically. As far as your production right here, we have 1 sugar beet, 0.1 water, and that's going to turn into 1.1 sugar beet cut. So you're not only not losing anything, you're gaining something. And then you get 0.1 stones. So if you want to think about it like in tens, you've got 10 sugar beet to 1 water, and then you get 11 sugar beet cut out and 1 stone. Make sense? All right, moving on. Next one's a bit interesting. It's the opposite of making money, but still might be useful to you. The farm skip is designed to be placed on your farm and acts as a sell point for all things. However, you don't actually get paid for it. Instead, it costs you $500 a day just to have stuff in there. So you can see right here, we've got our farm skip, $0 sell, and pretty much everything, literally everything, can be sold there. The only thing that can't be sold, let's see, we've got, what is that? Barley swaths, so it doesn't look like the swaths can be sold there. So that's something to note. Also, logs cannot be sold there either. So that's very important to note. Otherwise, pretty much everything else, all in-game products, all of your solids, liquids, productions, all of that can be sold here. It's really, I think, for just getting rid of stuff more than anything else. Next one on our list today, we got a couple animal pens. First one is the Modern Cow Barn. This bad boy right here will hold 50 animals. So you hold 50 cattle in here. Price is, well, it's not too shabby. Pretty expensive, $514,000. 22,500 capacity for food, 23,750 for straw. 5,000 milk. Yep, only 5,000, but it's 50 cows. You're not going to fill that up very quickly. And then we have a liquid manure slurry, 250,000 liters for that, which is very cool indeed. I do worry a little bit with the milk trigger being inside and the fact that my player has a hard time getting in and out. Well, not in that view. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I'm really liking this next one, the Chicken Coop Br. It is a 40,000 liter capacity for food to hold 2,000 little baby chickens. Food's going to come out right there. Here's where you're going to get your eggs, and here's where you handle your chickens. 2,000, not too shabby. It is absolutely massive, and it works. Like, the whole thing works. Everything works exactly the way you would expect. So we'll come in here. I'm going to turn on my help window because we can come and turn on the shed lights, which are extremely bright. Look how big this place is. If we come over here to the fans, we can turn on the exhaust fans. So they all turn on. They all make noise. That's so cool. We can come to this button right here and we can open up the tarps. which opens the sides. Ooh, but this place would stink. Goodness gracious. And then all the way down here, we can open up these exhaust fans as well, giving you so much airflow, bringing it in from the sides and pushing it out the ends. What a super duper cool setup. There is no option for changing the colors. I would like to change that yellow maybe to a red, but other than that, I mean, that is a very cool chicken coop. Here's another pretty neat mod, large haul with the heavy duty shelving. Now, we have a couple different ways in this. We've got a couple doors, so one there, all the way down here, another one there. We've got a people door. We can cut on the lights everywhere in here, and then we've got another one way down here. Boom. So, oh yeah, one right here. Sorry, I missed that one. So we got 4 different ways in, a little bit catty-cornered on the outsides. Is this one too? I've missed all the doors. They were just blending in so well. This will hold 1,000 things, so total capacity is going to be 1,000 pallets, big bags, tools, all that good stuff. You could store it all. And it is massive. Goodness gracious. It'll stack it up on the pallet shelves for you, and then whenever you're ready to go, you come right here and you get them out. Oh yeah, and by the way, the pallets are going to spawn right here, right beside where the trigger is, so be ready for that. Unlike the last few mods that we've looked at, we do have solar panels, which could be installed for 281 grand. And we also have colors. This one's kind of similar, the cold room storage from VGL Modding. This is a big overhang with a, well, I guess a cold storage right there in the way. So we've got a couple things here. Is that a compressor? Some other bits and bobs. So it looks cool, kind of looks real. There's some nice details on it. And then this is the usable part right here. So we have 200 pallet storage. We have a light switch right here on the side. Drop everything there, and then you come over here and get everything out. It's a pretty neat setup overall, and very, very unique. This was pretty interesting. The small manure heap. It holds 4 million liters. However, it is teeny tiny, doesn't go any bigger than this spot right here. So this is going to be super useful if you don't have a big place to put the manure. It's just going to spawn right here. Also, let's say you don't have a massive area. Maybe you want to put it in like the cow area and pretend that you're mucking them out. You could easily bring your bucket up to this or anything like that. Super cool, super useful. And again, because it holds 4 million liters, which I don't think it was supposed to, but it does. Look at that. That's awesome. That is so cool. And it's, well, I say cheap. It's 25 grand. Still not too shabby. Deleting it's a little bit more difficult. So click around where the icon is and you'll be all right. Here's a different one. This is obviously an ICAS building from Patty and ICAS. The garage with large windows. So you've got some pretty large windows around towards this side. That side, really nothing going on there. I would consider this probably like a wash bay, something like that. We do have lights over here, so we cut those on. Bam! Not super mega bright, but you know, bright enough. So there's that. If you want to wash bay, well, just put you a spray washer in there. And then we can go over here into the larger section. One side is a complete drive-through. So great for semi-trucks, or maybe you got a big seeder or something like that to be good to go. Otherwise, this is just a very, very massive, I mean, absolutely massive building. It does seem like, there we go, it does seem like the light switch is on the wrong side, but yeah, it is what it is. What you gonna do about it? Nonetheless, there you go. I think you get the point. The garage with large windows. Next last placeable is going to be the garage with shed. This is only ICAS credited on this one. We can do colors, so everything you see in dark green, that can be changed up, so around towards the roof as well. This is a little bit more European in style than their normal American buildings, but that is all right. Nothing wrong with that there. And we got a huge portion over here with an overhang. Your last place was the house with pool. You will need to be using a regular placement mode here, not free build. And it is going to put the grass down, it's going to put down the gravel, and it's going to put down dirt. It's going to do all those things. But you will get an in-ground pool. Boosh. Which is very, very cool. Actually, it's deep enough to where your player has to swim. How cool is that? That is very, very cool. Now, let's swing around. There are 2 doors to the outside here. We're going to open up this one. I'm going to cut on my help window as well because we do have things like outdoor lighting, which is nice. So in here we have a bright blue couch, as you would have. You've got a lizard refrigerator like that. Very cool. The indoors is very, very role-play friendly, I guess. Very high ceilings in here. And then in here we have a bathroom and 3 bedrooms. So come around here. It's going to be a little bit difficult because we've got like a light trigger there and the door trigger. It's very tight. But in here is the master bedroom where you will go sleepy time-ing. We come up here. Why is there a light switch above the bed? I don't understand. But each room has its own lights, so you can control those. So there you go. There's this bedroom. And then we've got a very interesting looking bathroom. Apparently I'm a vampire, and we do have a little bit of light outside, so that's very nice to have in a bathroom. And then we've got another room here, but this is where you change clothes, you know, because you're, I don't know, I've got a closet and 2 bedrooms as well. I can't say anything. Nonetheless, there you go. That is all of your mods, other than maps, of course, for all platforms today. Now we've got a couple maps here. We have South Rice. This one is in the south of Brazil. It's a customizable map. I'm not quite sure what they mean by that in the mod desk. Removable buildings, fully customizable farms. Maybe that's it. Removable decorations, gates, fences, etc. And we have this humongo lake, which is actually buildable, which I find kind of interesting. It's kind of neat. So you can actually purchase like the whole thing right there. See that? See that? You can click it. It costs $482,000 and it is yours. It's actually the entire outside of the map. Speaking of the map, we've got a couple new crop types in here. We have ryegrass and black bean. So those are existent in here. As far as what we do own in new farmer mode, we get a little bit up here at the top right hand corner. This is going to be main farm area and that kind of thing. And doesn't look like we get anything anywhere else. However, pricing's not too terrible, especially for some of these smaller fields in the town area. Yeah, not too shabby. Well, I say town area. Town's actually over there. This is just a big square field area. Still nice, I dig it. Here is our main farm area. You've got a couple things around here. Nothing too wild and crazy, but it is a nice area nonetheless. At least through here, we've got a small farm tech tipper, Fendt tractor, big class combine. I say big, it's the heavy end. Boy, it looks like a big combine. Round towards the corner, you got a place for washing stuff. Very nice. I like that. Silo section, you got a place here where you can work on stuff, and even your silo here, which we've, I guess, already mentioned. And then a couple other smaller bits and bobs back here. It's very cool. I like that a lot. Now, if we click over here, we actually go to our pickup truck, which is over at a fuel station, the PEP station, if you will. As far as everything else goes, here is your crop calendar if you needed it. It may look a little bit backwards, and, well, that's because, well, they're in South America. We start the game in February here, not in August. So that is the beginning of their, like, fall, the way it is up here. So there is that. No animals on the map. You can put your own down, though, if you wish. Of course, we've got contracts. Owned production chains. We actually have quite a few that we own from the very start. Cement factory, cement factory, cement factory, cement dairy factory, piano, spinnery, and sugar mill. You've also got the oil mill and another sawmill right there that you don't own yet. And as far as vehicles go, there we go, get my camera a bit and zoom in on it a little bit more. You can see all of the things that we've got and where they are on the map. When there are required mods, I do like to talk about those. So we do have 3 required mods for this one, and you can find them all right here. And your last new one for all platforms. Today we have another new map, Mecklenburg Lake District. This is from Holden, and it is a northern or northeastern Germany map. I think right off the bat, it's important to let you guys know there's 13 required mods. So do with that information as you wish. Tons of new crops, including hummus active mustard, silage maize or corn silage, rye, triticale, spelled vetch rye, green rye, and field grass. So tons of new crops, which is very, very nice. We've also got all kinds of stuff around the map, including the ability to buy the outside of the map, which I'm a big fan of. Other than that, we only get a couple new bits and bobs. You've got Farmland 11 and Farmland 15. I don't believe there's anything else because I don't see anything else going on. Here is our main farm where we've got quite a few silo complexes. We've also got a place for fuel and a few places to park up your tractors. And by tractors, I mean tractor. There's one tractor, one combine harvester. Everything else is a tool. There's a total of 3 farms on the map. You've got one that we just showed you guys, one that's cow farm, and one that's a pig farm. As far as your crop calendar goes, here is that. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good indeed. No animals that we own, so there is that. As far as productions go, nothing owned, and there's only one production on the map itself, the dairy. However, I do know there's a BGA on there. So you're probably going to have to buy that, buy the land on that in order to get that part. And then, of course, we've already gone over the vehicles. Andrew 13, yes, count them, 13 required mods. Now we got updates for all platforms. First was the Fiat X70 Series from the SMI modding team, version 105. Fixed the license plate format and fixed fueling needle not working. Also from the SMI modding team, the MAG Cultirapid Pro version 105 here as well. Fixed attach of NXT disc arrow that won't attach anymore. Owned Cultirapid when it get detached. What? And fixed AI worker with the bundle Cultirapid Plus NXT. Oof, that update made my brain hurt. And we've got a pretty extensive update to HermannsHausen map version 1001. Heads up, a new save game is required for this, so be aware of that. We've got new crops added of rye and spelt, alfalfa, alfalfa hay, clover, and clover hay has also been added and can be baled and stored loose in hay storage. You've also got canola straw storage added, animal feed adapted to the new crops, biomass heating plant now produces biomass, biomass generation, cogeneration plants now produce compost, new sawmill installed, grass removed from the streets, and various trees added, new vehicle dealer installed, sales room accessible, very cool, greenhouse removed and replaced with shelters, allotment garden added. I had to scroll down just a little bit. We got new store images for purchase and sell points added to the map. Dairy now produces cream and quark. What is quark? Various minor adjustments, longer opening hours been added, purchasable areas edited, NPCs added, and some field paths removed and replaced with rows of trees. Now we got new ones for PC and Mac players. We got flag on a pole. This is an ICAS mod. Very rare to see an ICAS mod on PC only. I'm guessing because Caterpillar, as far as I know, is not a licensed brand, and I don't know if they knew that either. So there you go. Maybe we'll see a version of this for all platforms, or maybe the Caterpillar one will be removed and it will be allowed for all platforms, or maybe this was the idea the whole time. I have no idea. Either way, there you go. Flag on the pole. Next is the Engine Start Plus mod. This mod will start the engine if you're performing an action that requires power. In contrast to the base game, the engine won't stop on exiting a vehicle, and the lights can be set to turn on automatically upon the engine start. Since everybody needs the same mods in multiplayer mode, you can activate or deactivate all features. Very cool. And lastly, we have a higher purchasing mod from Oz. This is pretty sweet. So it adds an option to purchase equipment through a higher purchase model. You purchase equipment by putting down a configurable deposit, and higher deposit will reduce the interest rate. Choose how long the agreement should last. Choose from 4 payment plans, each with different monthly payments and final fees, and settle your agreement early to save on interest costs. Lastly, today we've got updates for PC guys. This is the Swathing Plus mod, one of my faves, version 1.1. Down at the bottom, they've added sorghum and long grain rice for swathing, and added field grass, fetch rye, and green rye for mowing. Field service trailer 102, fixed error experienced by some users when configurations were rapidly adjusted in the shop screen. Digital display 111, PL and FR translations added and corrected, rare nil error caught, smaller 3-line display added, and missing packages added to old display. Production storage control, all one word, version 1.1, fixed visual bug and multiplayer, added BR and UK translations, and made production-specific pallets manually spawnable. Next to last manual tipping 1012, fix the auger wagon's error and change bindings to lift lower trailer. Lastly, today we've got an update to Arkansas 4X from Samuel Batista Mining, version 1001. Stone Crusher has been adjusted, now requires to purchase field 79 for access. The dairy's been adjusted, some floating buildings and trees across the map have been fixed, several rice fields and water pumps have been added with water pumps, some map decoration errors have been corrected, minor terrain irregularities across the map have been fixed, also a new save game is recommended. have fun. And that is it for this one. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like if you did. Get subscribed if you're new, and join the GoHam fam. Again, double check those DLC videos from this morning. The Mercedes-Benz Trucks Pack releasing in 5 weeks. Very excited about that. Otherwise, have an awesome day. We'll see you in the next one.